I woke up to the sound of glass breaking, not the quiet tinkle of an accident, but sharp, deliberate shattering that made my chest tighten before I even moved. My eyes snapped open, and the living room was darker than it should have been. I could feel him before I saw him, standing in the doorway, not moving, just watching. I swallowed, tried to steady my breath, but my lungs betrayed me with a shallow, trembling rasp.
"I know you're awake,"
he said. Not loud, but the words cut into the air like knives. I didn't answer. I didn't dare. My hand slid toward the kitchen counter, toward anything I could grab. A knife, a heavy pan. My mind raced through options. Every one of them felt useless. He took a step forward, just one. The floorboards groaned under his weight. I realized then he knew exactly how silent the house could be without me noticing. I tried to move backward, toward the bedroom, toward some imagined safety. He matched me step for step. Not fast, not slow, just perfectly in rhythm with my panic. My phone sat on the nightstand, useless, dead. Even if I could call, who would answer at this hour? Who would believe me anyway? I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. Every thump was louder than the last, and with each one he seemed to lean in closer, though he didn't speak. Just watching, measuring. Then the lights flickered, just for a second, enough for me to see the outline of his face. Sharp angles but blurred, like a mask worn for too long. And his eyes, calm, focused, knowing things they shouldn't. I stumbled backward, hand brushing the edge of the counter, knocking over a glass. It shattered across the floor, smaller pieces skittering like insects. He didn't flinch, didn't even blink.
"You shouldn't have opened the door,"
he said. The words didn't make sense yet. I didn't remember opening the door. I didn't remember anyone coming in. Panic hit in waves. I backed toward the bedroom, my mind screaming for a plan, for anything that would work. He didn't follow immediately, just stayed there, letting the fear build. Then a slow, deliberate movement. He raised his hand, not toward me, but toward the window. I froze. The curtains were still drawn, but the glass rattled. I could hear faint, deliberate tapping inside, from someone standing behind the pane, waiting for me to look. My throat tightened. I realized then that I couldn't run. Every exit was trapped, every movement recorded. He smiled, not friendly, not threatening, just satisfied, like a hunter watching prey figure out the trap too late. The tapping stopped, but then another sound replaced it. Breathing, not mine, deep, uneven, echoing off the walls. I pressed myself against the counter, gripping the knife like it would suddenly turn me into someone capable of defending myself. My legs felt like lead, my mind screaming at me to move, to fight, to do anything. And then I heard it. A whisper behind me.
"Don't move."
I turned slowly. There was no one there, but the voice had weight. It filled the room. It wasn't coming from anywhere, and yet, it was there. I backed up, and that's when I noticed the bedroom door. It had been closed before. Now it was ajar. I hadn't touched it. I wanted to run inside, lock it, hide, but something in my gut screamed that inside wasn't safer. The room was dark, except for a single streak of moonlight across the floor. And in that light, I saw them. Marks, small, shallow cuts etched into the hardwood, leading from the bedroom to the living room and then stopping at the exact spot I had been standing. I stumbled back. My mind tried to rationalize it. Maybe someone had broken in earlier. Maybe it was a prank. But the pattern was too precise, deliberate, impossible. Then the voice again.
"You can't stay."
This time it was louder, closer. I spun around, but the space was empty. And that's when I saw movement. Not him. Not a person. Something small, crouched, moving too fast to track. It darted across the floor, just at the edge of the light. I froze, heart pounding, breath sharp. It stopped, and I realized it was mimicking me. Every tiny twitch, every hesitation. I shifted slightly, and it shifted in exact time with me. I tried to scream. My mouth made a sound, but it wasn't a scream. It was garbled, twisted, wrong, and it echoed. Behind me, not me, repeating back everything I tried to say. I ran toward the bedroom, toward somewhere, anything. The door slammed behind me, not by the wind, not by anything I could see. Slammed with force enough to rattle the frame. I bolted toward the window, tried to open it. Locked. I had locked it earlier. I knew I had. The phone vibrated in my pocket. I hadn't touched it. I pulled it out. The screen lit up with a single message. Why are you running? No number, no name, just the words, typed perfectly. I backed into the corner. The creature, whatever it was moving now, slowly, deliberately, stepping out of the shadows. Not fast, but purposeful. Every step measured. I realized then what it wanted. Not me to escape, not me to fight, but me to watch. It began mimicking the room, duplicating objects with minor, impossible differences, cups where none had been, knives in slightly wrong angles, shadows that didn't line up with their owners. The whispering started again, dozens of voices layering, overlapping. Some familiar, some mine, all demanding attention, all impossible to ignore. My chest ached, my mind screamed. I couldn't move, couldn't think, couldn't breathe. Then it spoke again, clearly. My own voice, my exact words from earlier, repeated back to me.
You can't stay.
It was me, but not me, worse. Knowing things I had only thought in secret, my own fears, my own regrets, my own small betrayals, recited back to me with perfection. I lunged, knife in hand. I swung. The air caught. Nothing. Nothing moved. Nothing changed. I realized then that leaving was impossible. Not the house, not the room, not even the way I had lived. Time shifted. Minutes stretched like hours. The walls seemed to breathe. The creature, or whatever it was, replicated every inch of the space with tiny errors, growing, expanding, pressing in. My phone buzzed again. A message. You left a door open. I hadn't. I knew I hadn't, and yet the evidence was there. Every mark, every crack, every whisper proof that I had somehow failed. I don't know how long I stayed there. I don't know how long it watched. I tried hiding, tried covering my ears, tried closing my eyes. Nothing worked. Then I understood. It didn't need to touch me, didn't need to speak, didn't need to exist in the same space. It only needed to convince me that I was already trapped. Hours later, or was it days, I don't remember, the front door opened. Sunlight streaked in, real, natural. I ran, out into the street, into the open, into people. But I could still hear it. The whispers, the mimicry, the endless repeating of my thoughts. Every time I blink, I see the small imperfections, the duplicated objects, the impossible angles. The movements just a fraction too fast, just slightly wrong. I know it followed me, knows me, always will. And sometimes, late at night, when I'm alone, I feel it standing just behind me, not moving, just watching. And I realize it doesn't care if I run, because I already lost the moment I saw it.